HCISD's Texas Public Schools Week Center Stage celebration at Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy as we showcase our students, teachers, staff, and the newest part of our building, our gymnasium and athletic wing. At this time, please give our Navy Jazz Band, led by Mr. Marcus Tejas, a round of applause for opening music this morning. Also, our combined JROTC cadets for the presentation of colors. And there's nothing more beautiful than hearing the voice of Miss Victoria Monroe. Thank you very, very much. And let's give a round of applause. Is this gym not beautiful? We are privileged to be the showcase school this morning to share what Texas Public Schools Week is all about, our students and their successes. Every moment of every day in Texas Public Schools, real-life engagement and profound learning occurs. This is something that our students and teachers know very well. Today, we celebrate these moments as they happen as our students leave their marks of success. As a community, we too celebrate these moments. So thank you for being here to do just that, celebrating the great things that are happening here in Harlingen CISD. We hope that you enjoy our program this morning. And again, welcome to the Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy. And now let me introduce my co-host this morning. We're going on the road as Kathy and Hoda. Okay, that's about as good as it gets. Mrs. Joy Hoflinger, who's one of our assistant principals. And she will introduce our special guests, and she will also help set the tone for this morning's celebration. Mrs. Hoflinger?
Thank you, Mrs. Bauer. Good morning, everyone. And at this time, we would like to recognize some special guests that we have with us this morning. From our Board of Trustees, Mr. George McShann, President. Mrs. Verna Young. Mrs. Jerry Fleurier. And Dr. Cesar Maldonado. We also have with us our superintendent's senior team. We have our superintendent, Dr. Art Cavazos. Our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Alicia Noyola. Our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Julio Cavazos. Our Assistant Superintendent for District Operations and School Safety, Mr. Oscar Tapia. Our Assistant Superintendent for Human Services, Mrs. Rosalinda Vargas. Our Director of Public Relations and Community Engagement, Mr. Shane Struphart. Our Administrator for Elementary Education, Mrs. Lori Romero. And our Administrator for Organizational Development, Mrs. Veronica Corton. We also have from our city, the Mayor of Harlingen, the Honorable Chris Boswell. Also from the City of Harlingen, Commissioner Victor Leal. We're also very happy to have with us Mrs. Mary Helen Cano whose husband's name shows in the front of our school. Mrs. Cano. We'd also like to recognize the administration here at Cano Freshman Academy, Mr. Melvin Hadamic, Assistant Principal. Mr. Michael Solis, Assistant Principal. And Mrs. Clarissa Rodriguez, Instructional Coach. And there's one more group that we want to recognize this morning, and that has been 5 students who have represented our school all year. Anytime we have any kind of a public speaking engagement, they have represented our school, and we are so proud of them and how they do represent our school. From the School of Business, Jordan Pendleton. From the School of Education, Rebecca Anderson. From the School of Health Science, Norman Torres. From the School of Liberal Arts, Jacob Hallett. And from the School of STEM, Miranda Del Valle. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. We are very happy this morning to share with you just how we are leaving our mark at the Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy. In celebration of Texas Public Schools Week, we wanted to give you a glimpse of the attitude and happiness that we experience each and every day in our new and wonderful school. The video you are about to see is a student production from our Principles of Arts, Audio, Visual, Technologies, and Communications class under the supervision of teacher Ms. Adriana Dominguez. As this song sets the tone for our school, you will see it has an unforgettable melody, and it was an Oscar nominee for the Best Original Song of the Year for 2014 at the Academy Awards on Sunday night. Just how happy are we here at Cano? Let's see.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go. Bring me
We are truly happy here at Dr. Cano Freshman Academy, and it's not just today, it's every day, because when you're happy, you perform so much better. And now that you are in a happy mood, it is my distinct honor to introduce our Superintendent of Harlingen Schools, Dr. Arturo J. Cavazos. Please welcome Dr. Cavazos.
I want to see the administration dance. What do you all think? How many want to see my senior team do that? Let's come on, guys. I think Mr. Strubart could probably do the cartwheels. I don't know, maybe, see? We don't want him to get hurt, okay. Wow, what an awesome video. Where are my representatives for the schools? Are these individuals and the one hiding behind the raven? Stand up, please, one more time. Give them a big hand. I'm telling you, not only are they doing an exceptional job representing Cano Academy, but they look great in pictures too. So give yourselves a hand. I was in Austin yesterday for a meeting at the state level, and I got off the airplane. I was delayed. My flight was delayed because of the cold weather. But as I was walking down the hallway there, I saw the picture of Cano Academy and the representatives. They look great in pictures, so I was happy to be back home. I want to begin by asking everyone to just take a moment to absorb the enthusiasm and excitement in the gym, the brand new gym of Ravens, right? Let's give a hand to everyone who made this possible. You know, we are in the newest campus in Harlingen CISD, where some would say is the epicenter of our transformation. Cano Academy is filled with learning spaces that promote collaboration, critical thinking, and communication. Those three skill sets are imperative in the 21st century. If you walk into the Information Literacy Center, you see a transformed library built to also promote research, communication, and problem solving. The ILC even features its own internet cafe, and I saw Dr. Shinneman, who was a brainchild behind that. Dr. Shinneman, stand up and take credit for that. Because Laura, all we need is for 14-year-olds to have caffeine in their bodies, so I'm sure they're excited over here. To the visitors in the audience, I welcome you to Harlingen CISD and to Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy. I'm your superintendent. I serve as your superintendent of Harlingen Public Schools. To our Cano team members, thank you for hosting us today. Your enthusiasm and commitment to your school is evident, and I greatly appreciate the wonderful presentation you have prepared for us. And to our HCISD team members, thank you for your continued support of student achievement. Let me tell you how nice this newest campus is. You know, there was a time when I would come to visit and I'd see Ms. Bauer in her beautiful conference area where the natural light sets in. How many of you have been in the conference room? How many of you have been in her office? No, don't raise your hand, don't. Beautiful space, beautiful library, ILC, internet cafe. There was a time when I wanted to move my office over here. She wouldn't let me. You know, she appears to be nice, but okay, let's give her a hand. She is nice. I come before you this morning to celebrate Texas Public Schools. A significant centerpiece of that celebration in Harlingen is the opening of this beautiful new building. Creating flexible learning spaces and a supportive school environment that inspires students are important variables in our mission of creating world-class schools in Harlingen. But the sum to that equation is not the facility, it's not this beautiful gym, it's the learning that's taking place in the classrooms. The teaching and learning is what's going to make the difference. As you know, we offer 5 schools of study that align with a university-style operation, as well as with the requirements set forth by House Bill 5 in 2013, the legislators passed that House bill, which requires high schools to offer 5 career endorsements. When we opened Cano in 2012, HCISD was ahead of the game. Ahead of the legislators, offering similar structure for students, Cano serves as a model that will shape the redesign of Harlingen High School and Harlingen High School South. So give yourselves a hand for this inaugural class that's doing an exceptional job. Without a doubt, the Cano team, the teachers, the support staff, is filled with caring leaders who are committed to meeting the individual needs of students and preparing them for the high school graduation, higher ed, and careers. With a team like this, it's easy to see how students come here to discover their passion. And that is a great motto, Ms. Bauer, so give her a hand. Boy, you were really dreaming. Whoever came up with that, they did an awesome job. Transforming our schools for global achievement is not possible without the outstanding visionary members of our Board of Trustees. And let me tell you, they work tirelessly to ensure that we're moving to creating world-class schools throughout our district. So, board members, please stand and be recognized again. And some might say that the superintendent of schools just takes care of everything by himself. That is not true. I'm blessed to have a senior team that helps with the working of the schools, the day-to-day operations, and creating the great learning opportunities that you experience here at Cano. So senior team members, please stand and be recognized. If you clap really loud, I'll have them do cartwheels. Let's try that again. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I haven't picked on the mayor because he speaks after me, so he might put me on the spot. So Mayor, I'll be nice to you, so since you're going to speak next. So, all right. So for the students in the audience, I want to thank you for your attention, your eagerness to learn, and for your role in the inaugural class here at Cano. To my teachers, support staff, and campus administrators, I would like to remind you of the role you play in positively impacting the lives of every student who walk through our doors, and express my sincere gratitude for your service. And to the community members and visitors in the audience, I want to take a moment to ask you for your support and thank you for your attendance today. You know, last month, the Board of Trustees adopted our strategic plan entitled Transforming Learning for Global Achievement, which will guide our decision-making for the next 3 to 5 years in Harlingen. We are fortunate to have obtained over 800 perspectives from all over the community in producing this plan through our surveys, focus groups, community summits. This strategic plan has established a set of goals and specific result statements that define the needs and expectations of our community. It outlines what the community speaks to as our highest hopes for every student attending Harlingen Public Schools. Our next steps will be to develop action plans to fulfill 5 goals of transforming learning for global achievement. We'll provide more information regarding those plans as we move forward through our website. How many of you follow us on Facebook in Harlingen? Raise your hand. You need to like our Facebook because Mr. Strubart, his job is dependent. Oh, no, that's not it. Raise your hand over there, Shane. So, how many of you have downloaded our mobile app for the district? Good for you. Download that mobile app. You can monitor your grades through that. Follow us on Facebook, mobile app, Channel 17, YouTube, and our newsletters. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to address our visitors. One of the key components to our strategic plan is to engage our community through innovative partnerships. We will be announcing a call to action for our community members in the near future in search for programs that offer students and staff mentorship, leadership, career development, and more. We will be seeking outstanding professionals throughout Harlingen to join our transformation. Guys, public education is a cornerstone of democracy. Public education is critical for us to remain as the #1 country in the world. Our schools need to work closely with our homes to develop generations of productive citizens. The needs of our community are changing, and we need to ensure that our schools transform to meet those needs and to exceed expectations. The students in Harlingen are exceptional, Raven students are right there with them, and they deserve world-class schools. We have the right people in place here to create world-class schools that improve the quality of life for all students. Thank you for your time, attention, and interest in Harlingen CISD schools. Please, I ask that everyone continue the celebration by visiting any one of our 28 schools this week for an opportunity to see some of the great things happening throughout our district. Be proud of Harlingen Public Schools. You, each and every one of us here, are ambassadors for our school district. Thank you for what you do, and you all have a great week.
Thank you, Dr. Cavazos. And he mentioned that this celebration and what we do in our schools is not just about the building, but it's about the students and the learning. As you can see, our students are out learning right now. And I will say that our bleachers are not filled because Mrs. Bauer is an English teacher first. She doesn't do well with numbers. And so when I was calculating in my mind how many students would fit in here this morning, of our over 1,200 students, almost 1,300, I started inviting organizations, and I thought, man, it's going to be filled. I'm just happy they're out learning right now, okay? But we will invite them in, and we will show them the videos, and we will share with them all the great things that they are here at Dr. Cano. But at this time, I do want to recognize our organizations that are here: the National Junior Honor Society, Student Council, the freshman class officers, our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, of course, our choir and our band and our cheerleaders. So give them a round of applause. And our PTSA. We have our PTSA parents here today. Raise your hand and wave, because I know there's one right there. Thank you for coming. All righty. Thank you, Dr. Cavazos, for your inspiring message. And now, please welcome the president of our school board, Mr. George McShann.
Thank you, and good morning. Wow. I'm happy. Wow. You know, that was very inspiring. This is an exciting time. This is a special, special week, Texas Public School Week. As I was sitting thinking about my message to you, what can I say to you? Well, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. I'm somewhat patriotic, as you might note. How about that? But there's a reason for this. In 1954, you all remember this from your history lesson, there was a Supreme Court case called Brown versus Board of Education. And that meant that simply the Constitution was made whole by saying that separate but equal schools were unconstitutional. That integrated the schools in this country, and of course for African Americans. At that time, I was in second grade in 1954. My dad was a bus driver in a little town right outside of Austin called Elgin, Texas. Fast forward 50 years later, 2004. The boy that rode that bus in 1954 became the leader for public schools in the United States of America. That was president of the National School Boards Association, and that was George McShann, 50 years later. I tell you that story because education made the difference in my life, my family's life, and now as a public servant, as a school board member, trying to make a difference for you. Saying that if you value your education and make education your #1 currency, you will be able to reach your hopes and dreams in life. It will give you the quality of life that you want because your education is the difference. Your education, coupled with a strong moral compass, will allow you to live the life of the American dream. Our 3 children graduated from Harlingen Public Schools. And I must say we're very proud of the fact that because of their education, they're doing very, very well in life. And also, I must share with you that I've been around for a long time. If your parents graduated from Harlingen Public Schools from 1988, anywhere in that period, I probably gave them their diploma. That's how long I've been around. So I might be giving your parents, I gave your parents their diploma, and now I'm giving you their diploma. I guess I'm happy, right? I am happy. Public schools, as Dr. Cavazos pointed out, is a cornerstone for our democracy. Remember that. Remember that your education will be the difference. Make no mistake about it. That needs to be your #1 priority. Dr. Cavazos talked about the strategic plan for this district. And the plan is really owned by the community. It's owned by you. A vision that is inclusive of this entire city, this entire school district. Move forward with the idea that we want you to be able to do what you want to do, to be able to take that gift that you have and allow it to evolve in a way that you can be that person 10, 20, 30, 40 years later. That's what it's about. I want to thank all of you, particularly the greater community, for making things possible for Harlingen CISD. Let me just talk about a couple of things that's rolling out. I'm always touched by the Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy because Dr. Cano was a personal friend of mine. And we used to talk about the story of education, how he valued education. And it's so fitting for this school to be named for a person to say that education is a reason why he was able to ascend to the level of making life so much better for all of us as a physician. And that leads me to talk about the School of Health Professions. The School of Health Professions will open in August of this year, grades 8 through 12. We will enroll 250 students, 125 in 8th grade, 125 in 9th grade. That fits into the vision of this state in that the Rio Grande Valley will have a medical school, a full-fledged medical school that is going to be here. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Let's give that a big round of applause. One of my fellow board members could not be here because he's a practicing physician, Dr. Nolan Pettis. I know how proud he is that he had to leave the Rio Grande Valley to get his medical degree. And I tell that story because my daughter and Dr. Nolan Pettis were at University of Texas together, both preparing to be physicians. Of course, maybe if the medical school had been here, perhaps my daughter Sonia, who's a psychiatrist, may have been here in the valley, but had to leave. That brain drain will no longer, I think, be the case because you have the opportunities right here. So we're very proud of the School of Health Professions. And now let me share with you what's really important. I talked about that young boy that was in school back in the early 50s. I do remember this. In my school, during public school week, my parents always came to school for the public school week, meet the teachers and see how George was doing. I remember that very vividly. I remember the science fair projects that I had. I remember that my parents coming and saying, well, how's he doing? My parents were not formally educated, but they knew that the difference would be in getting a quality education. They were right. I want to call to action to you. Ask your parents, mom, dad, go to your grandparents, or someone who's very close to you, say, would you come visit Cano Freshman Academy this week? Will you do that? Will you ask your parents to come? Ask them to come and visit the public schools. Some of you have siblings in other grades. Ask them to come to visit your public schools, because this is special. America would not be what it is today without our public school system. We have 50 million children enrolled in public schools in this country. That's 90% of all the children in America. So we have 50 million reasons to be proud of public education. But locally here in Harlingen, we have 18,500 reasons to be proud of public education. So are you happy about that? My fellow board members, Ms. Jerry Flourier, Ms. Verna Young, Dr. Maldonado are here today because they care about what's happening in public education. We thank them for being here. Let's give them another big round of applause. Please remember, you tell your parents, I know how it is as teenagers, you know, parents aren't always the most popular people to be around, but give them a break this week and say, Mom, Dad, would y'all at least come to school? Is that okay? Will you do that for me? I appreciate it. Now I have something very special, and I'm happy about this, because I have an announcement to make. Wow, you're wondering, what is he going to say to us? We're proud of a lot of things, but we're particularly proud of what's going on here in Harlingen. Dr. Cavazos talked about the leadership team here to my right, a great leadership team. And what can I say about Mrs. Bauer? You know, I've known Mrs. Bauer for a long, long time, and she's special. Would you say, isn't she special? Yes. This is my message. I have a special announcement I'd like to share with you today. Every year, the Texas Association of School Libraries recognizes one administrator for their continued support of library services. Yesterday, Harlingen HCISD received word that our superintendent, Dr. Arturo Cavazos, will receive the Distinguished Library Service Award for school administrators at the Texas Library Association Convention in San Antonio this April. Dr. Cavazos has worked tirelessly to establish a campus and district-wide culture that sets high expectations, promotes learning, and creates an understanding of the library as an integral part of the learning process. Join me in congratulating Dr. Cavazos on being named the recipient of the Distinguished Library Service Award for School Administrators. Oh, we're happy. We're certainly happy. And with that, I say, thank you all so very, very much. And let's make this public school week one of the best. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. McShann, not only for the announcement, but for your words of wisdom and sharing with us the experiences that education has made in your life. Student success, that is at the forefront of everything we do here at Dr. Cano Freshman Academy. We would now like to share with you what happens in our classrooms on a daily basis. The video you are about to see was completely unscripted and will highlight our 4 core areas along with our Introduction to Engineering class from our Career Technical Education. On any given day, visitors come to our campus to see the secret of our success, and you will quickly see that our staff and students are the heart of it.
So the students are working on the different types of government systems. Today they're visiting the 6 different stations around the classroom where they'll read an activity based on the different types of government systems. They'll answer a couple of questions. And then as a group, once they understand the concepts behind the different types of government systems, the students will then recreate a visual representation of that using gummy bears in the classroom.
The purpose of the project is so that the kids can take something from home, use the tools at school to take it apart and find out how it functions, how it works, and taking a look at each and every part and determining what its function is, and then making a PowerPoint and trying to describe it to others, doing research on the internet, watching videos of other people taking apart things. And so it's a very open project for bringing anything from home, and it's actually called reverse engineering, just like the way a lot of firms work is they find something to take it apart. And we had Apple comes out with the first touchscreen, and now everybody's a touchscreen. So this is the way the world of engineering works, is reverse engineering what your competitor has done and making it better.
Students were working on the Human Body app, which allows them to interact with different body systems. For example, the circulatory system, skeletal system, nervous system. And so they're able to actually see it happening in front of them rather than just on paper and looking at it. Now they're able to interact back and forth, switch from system to system, or add 2 to 3 systems at the same time. To me, this is a lot easier for them to remember and recognize it, hopefully, in their exam, in the STAR exam, ultimately, so they can make a good grade.
Today's class was for STAR prep. We're preparing our kids for the STAR test coming up in March. We did a whole group activity to where we answered questions together. They worked on grammar. They were given something on the board, had to do it on their own, and then we discussed the correct answers or what they answered was wrong. Then we went into making inferencing. I gave them small excerpts where they were to read them, and we talked about different strategies as to why the answers were right and why they were wrong.
Are you okay? What's wrong? Why are you crying? Because I'm sad, okay? Well, why don't you talk to your father about that?
Hi, daughter.
Hi, Dad.
Why are you crying?
Because I'm sad that I won't be able to be with Romeo.
Why have you said his name in this household?
Because I love him!
If you love thy Romeo, you will not be my daughter no more, because I would disown you.
No, please!
No, have enough!
No.
Enough!
How could you say that to your daughter?
You fool! You're a fool! Why have you, no!
Okay, so today the students worked on summarizing major scenes of Romeo and Juliet. Each group was assigned a different part to read, and they had 2 days to read the part and answer some questions for it. So they were in charge of teaching the class this material. So they could choose to either act it out, which some of them did, or they could choose to just summarize it in more modern ways, because Shakespeare is really tough to get through. So the fact that they can summarize it in more modern terms is pretty impressive. They're amazing students.
Thank you, and know that we just decided last week that we would present this, and we just walked in with cameras. We didn't let the teachers know, and this is what happens at Dr. Cano on a daily basis. And I want to say, Juliet needs the happy song. Do you agree? Yes. All righty. And now we have the distinct pleasure of introducing the Honorable Mayor of Harlingen, Mr. Chris Boswell.
Well, good morning. Commissioner Leal and I are very happy to be here this morning with you to help kick off Texas Public Schools Week, and I'm so happy that I wore my raven purple tie to be with you all here today. I want to congratulate Dr. Art Cavazos on this remarkable achievement that was announced here this morning, and recognition, a well-deserved recognition, and to also recognize and applaud your great Harlingen Consolidated Independent School District School Board. You have a wonderful group of men and women who are giving great leadership to the public schools here in our community, and they've done this for a long time, many of them, and we hope that they continue to do that for a long time in the future. We are truly blessed to have these remarkable leaders as those who have brought to this community these wonderful schools here in the last few years. They showed great and tremendous leadership in passing a bond issue to be able to construct this wonderful Cano Academy and many other facility projects throughout the community at a time when that wasn't a very popular thing to do. So it also reflects well on your community and the citizens in this community who voted in favor of that bond issue back in 2007 to want to improve your lives by giving you the best possible facilities to be able to learn in and grow in. And so they deserve some thanks too. So if you want to shock your parents, go home and thank them for paying for this beautiful school, because they're the ones that are helping to make this happen. So shock your parent. I know I'd be shocked if my daughter came home and thanked me for the school that she is getting to be in and to learn in. But I think it would be a great thing for you to do that and to recognize their involvement and the importance that they have in making all this happen for you. Great things are happening here in the city of Harlingen. You know, Dr. McShann mentioned the medical school that this community has, and leaders in this community have worked on for the last 15 years, and our RAC that has been here in Harlingen and in Brownsville and in Edinburgh for the last 11 years is now becoming a full-fledged medical school, with our dean being named here in Harlingen and throughout the valley just last week. Great things are happening in buildings all over town. We've had over the last year about $150 million worth of commercial construction projects throughout the city of Harlingen, more construction projects than any other city in the valley. And our unemployment rate went down to 7.2%, a big drop over the last 3 years, and also one of the lowest in the valley, a very financially strong community and a very safe community. I mention all that not to brag about the city of Harlingen, but to say that a city is only as good as its public schools. And because you can't do any of those great things without a great foundation and these great public schools that we have here in our community of Harlingen. And so the good things that are happening in our community, I think, reflect the great things that are happening in our public schools. It doesn't matter how many jobs you create or how many businesses you try to bring to your town or your city, if you don't have people who are ready, workforce ready or college ready to be able to take on those jobs and to do those things in your community. And so a lot of the success that we have here today, not only locally, but in our state and our nation, is really dependent upon public schools. So the work that your teachers do, the work that you do in your classrooms to better yourselves, to become educated, to become ready for college, or to become ready for the workforce, is important to your quality of life. It's important to making a great community and a great state and a great nation. So keep up the great work. We congratulate all of you. We congratulate your great leaders, and have a great week.
Thank you, Mayor Boswell. We have a special treat this morning. One of our very own students will visit with us about leaving her mark and what the Dr. Cano Freshman Academy experience means to her. This student is one of our regulars at our open mic nights each month and has assumed the role of MC. She definitely is leaving a mark at CFA. Please welcome Ms. Savannah Lopez from our Legacy Class 2017.
Good morning. morning, fellow Ravens and distinguished guests, and welcome to the Dr. Abraham P. Cano Freshman Academy celebration of Texas Public Schools Week. My name is Savannah Lopez, and I am privileged and honored to speak with you this morning on behalf of all the students who attend this school. My lovely principal, Ms. Bauer, has asked me to speak about how I plan to make a mark in my life. After high school, I plan to attend college for 12 years to become a psychiatrist. I am investigating colleges in Texas as well as in California. You may ask, why 12 years? But to become a successful psychiatrist, this is what is required. You must be a smart, caring, and trustworthy individual. Coming here to CFA really showed me what I want to do in my life. I've always known I wanted to be a type of therapist, but not really sure if I was good at it or not. Opening me up to the career surveys did show me that I have the ability to do so. It is also through my career and technology courses of professional communications and human services through the School of Education here at Dr. Cano Freshman Academy that have shown me that my passion in helping others has only grown stronger. I know my fellow students and I are on the right track to discovering our passion in life as we leave our mark not only at Dr. Cano Freshman Academy, but at Harlingen HCISD and then in our lives. Thank you.
Let's give Savannah another round of applause. She did an excellent job. At this time, I'd like to recognize one of our other school board members, Mr. Greg Powers. And now your attention at center stage. I know I'm going to mess up the photography right now. So I'd like to invite our cheerleaders and our Raven, because we are revealing our Raven mascot today. Introduce our Cano choir. It's our women's choir, both gold and navy, under the direction of Denise Kickoff this morning. Please welcome our choir.
And
our fine arts are in the middle of the UIL performing time, and our orchestra was out performing yesterday and the day before. And I do know that the Navy Orchestra got a sweepstakes. So they did that yesterday, so that's the Cano Navy Orchestra. I'm still waiting to hear what the Gold Orchestra did, but we do want to celebrate that. Wow, what a morning. Thank you for all the wonderful performances. And again, we would like to thank everyone who contributed to the success of this ceremony. Many thanks to all our special guests for being with us this morning. Please let us recognize once again the wonderful presentations by our jazz ensemble, our JROTC cadets, our choir, our cheerleaders and our mascot, and more importantly, all our students. I would also like to acknowledge our students, our teachers, and our parents who are present with us at this time. Please stand, teachers and parents. Thank you. And thank you for celebrating with us. And a very special thank you goes out to our HCISD maintenance department, who ensured that our school looked great both inside and out for this special occasion. So special thanks to Mr. Oscar Tapia and his team. You don't know this, but they worked long and hard on Saturday and Sunday and even into last night to ensure that everything was beautiful. So thank you very much. This concludes our ceremony this morning.